Okay, so I pretty much just wrapped up the last video, so I look like I'm in the same clothes, but it's the same day. Um, I'm making this video real quick as a little bit of a story of what happened. I had just got my truck on the ground, got the alignment eyeballed and everything kind of figured out, and I was gonna go put some miles on the rear end. And that's what I did. I put 230 miles on that rear end before disaster struck. And I knew it was gonna happen. I had a hunch. I was just like, man, I haven't done this yet, and it's about to happen. But I kept pushing because I wanted to get the miles in on the truck, and I was like, I'll fix it later. I already know what I want to order to replace this part. Anyways, what happened was I was cruising down the road, and it was real bumpy in the right-hand lane, and I literally said to my friend about 10 seconds before disaster struck, hey, I'm gonna move over into the left lane because it's really bumpy in the right lane. And then boom, I hit a manhole cover and just destroyed my oil pan. I put a big old crack from across the front of it. I scraped the whole front of it and cracked all the way up the side of the oil pan, destroyed it. And I knew immediately that I did it. I wasn't filming because it was all kind of boring. I was just driving normal down the road. I was going, if not the speed limit, slower, because the RPM is so dang high with the gear I have in this truck. But I'm running down the road just normal, and I smacked this manhole cover and destroyed my oil pan. And every time I scraped my control arms, my lower control arms, I'd always peek at my oil pressure because I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna be okay or not. And well, I knew immediately I hit the oil pan because it felt different, and it was definitely more centered. So cracked the oil pan. I knew it happened. And I looked down to see my oil pressure, and my gauge was hanging out of the little bezel that it sits in. So I was like, oh crap, and I shut it off, and I coasted into this parking lot. And it just so happens that this is my luck. This is how everything goes for me. But I coasted into the parking lot that was the nicest one around. It was brand new asphalt, brand new striped lines. The place was luckily closed, so I didn't get beat up by nobody. But it was like all the other parking lots were trash around here, except for this one. It was brand new, and I just put oil all over their parking lot. So I kind of felt bad about that, but got some cat litter on it. My dad came to the rescue, had to trailer me home, and luckily my older brother was there for comedic relief, and kind of made the whole situation a little bit more fun than it was. But yeah, destroyed the oil pan, soaked the parking lot in oil. Me and my friend Landon had to push my truck out of the way, and then this lady comes out and sees this piece of crap truck and just oil all over the ground, and she had to move her car because I guess she was getting off late or something. I don't know. We were like, sorry, and moved my truck, and I didn't hurt nothing in the motor because I shut it off immediately. It still had high oil pressure. I shut it off and I looked at the tach, I pulled it up off the floor, and it was still showing good oil pressure. So nothing really got in the road, so that was all good. But yeah, destroyed this thing. I got some video of it from right when it happened. I'll show you that right now. Well, got the what? I'm not in a good mood. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen, but I thought I could avoid it. have to crop out the oil.
Crop out the oil spill, yeah.
So me and my buddy were cruising along, and we were down past these trees over here, and there was a dip in the ground, and the road was kind of rough way back. So I got over into the middle lane where it was smoother, and I was riding, and the dip was just perfect to hit the oil pan. The control arms have been rubbing and scraping the ground already, and I knew that, but it eventually got the pan. Well, there's your problem right there. It's got an oil leak. Anyways, so yeah, now I'm putting the oil pan on a little sooner than I thought I would. But yeah, whatever. I guess that's what I get for trying to make this thing so low and trying to drive it all the time. But it's okay. I'll get a new pan on it and keep going from there. Hopefully it goes really smooth. I get a pan on it, and it's not, hopefully it's not too long of a process. Hope I didn't mess anything else up, and I just kind of, it looks like I just cut the front of the pan open because the whole sides of the pan and everything aren't leaking. Like there's no oil on it. It's just dripping straight from the bottom, from the front. So that means hopefully I just scraped it and put a hole in it, and I can throw a new one on. I didn't push on the pan too hard against, you know, all the bolts that are in the bottom of the block. That's kind of something I'm a little worried about, but I think that I just scraped it and cut a hole in the pan, and I think I'll be okay. But that just kind of ruined my night there. Alright, so I got that taken care of and got home, and my buddy Lance had a oil pan exactly like mine. Before I cracked the oil pan, I knew that I wanted to raise the front end up a little bit. I wanted stiffer springs back in the front end to help with a little bit of weight transfer, and also just to lift the front end up because it had way too much rake. I'm gonna be running a little bit taller tire in the rear of the truck, so it's gonna set the rear end up a tiny bit more, and it was just too much rake. It didn't look good, and I think it's gonna perform a little bit better with the stiffer springs up front. But yeah, so before that I was gonna change those springs, and now that I cracked the oil pan, I put a pan that Lance brought over in that's exactly like the pan that I had before, and just raised the truck back up a little bit, so it's all working okay. The stiffer springs don't let the suspension collapse as much, so don't hit the ground. I haven't scuffed the control arms once since I put the other springs in it, so guys, fingers crossed. I hope I don't do it anymore, but it's a lot better. It's way better. So I have a new pan on the way. It's like a low profile muscle car pan, so that will be coming in the mail. Gosh, when did I order that? I don't know. It should be coming in the mail like today or tomorrow maybe, and I'll be able to pull that in and get it on the lift and swap the pans out. So I'll have a lower profile pan, and I'll never have to think about it again. Luckily, Lance had a pan that was just, you know, it was pretty easy to get on. It's the exact same thing, and he actually just bought a low profile, the exact same pan that I just bought. So he had just pulled his off and had it and was like, hey, here. So that worked out, and yeah, I don't know, it's running great now. It's driving good. I haven't scraped nothing yet, so I'm actually about to get started on the next video, and I gotta go clean the truck. So I'm gonna clean the truck, and then I can get started on that right there, getting this all installed on the truck. And if you don't know what it is yet still, then I'm not gonna show you. You're gonna have to wait until that video. But I hope you guys kind of thought this was funny. I did. I wasn't really too mad about it. It sucked when it happened because I was just a few miles away from being comfortable with the rear end being broken in, and I had made so much progress for like 2 days. I was just driving. I got off work and I would drive, and made so much progress getting those miles on the rear end, and then that happened and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so close. But anyways, it was kind of fun. Hopefully I will never do that again. I don't want to do that again. It sucks cracking your oil pan because it's like I got a perfect running driving truck that, because I was kind of just neglecting to fix something before it happened, can't drive it. But now it's good. It's got the pan on, it's running and driving great. And yeah, I gotta go get to work. So I'll see you guys later, and I hope you enjoy this video.